Guys, have you ever wanted your truck to actually tell you how much weight it's hauling in the bed or towing behind it? I know I have when we do our iGauntlet tow testing and also tow on the highway. But now Ford has a solution, or at least partially, to this question with the new 2021 Ford F-150 that's going to be available this summer. This is a new feature they're adding. One of the features is called Onboard Scales, and the second feature is called Smart Hitch. And there's a third technology piece that they're unveiling in the new F-150, and it is a continuously controlled damper solution for your F-150 truck. So in this video, I'm going to go over all these features, how they work, how much they cost, when they're going to be available, and also which trim levels they're going to be available on. So let's start with Onboard Scales. What is this feature about? How does it work? Okay, so it's going to be available this summer. You will be able to start ordering this package in June, and then it should be available later in the summer. And basically, it includes hardware and software. And unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, it's not retroactively available for current owners of brand new 2021 F-150 trucks. So I'm one of those people, actually. I do have a new F-150 that I own, so I won't be able to get access to this feature, but if you're buying a new truck, you will have access to it. Basically, the way it works, it's using a height sensor, and I'm not sure exactly how many sensors it has, either in the back, in the front, or maybe on all four corners. It's using a height sensor to actually judge how much your truck is squatting, and this is the way it can tell approximately within a certain margin of error how much weight you're hauling. But it's not, of course, a perfect system, because first, before to get it working properly, you kind of have to tell it how many passengers you have, or how much weight, or how much weight of people you're carrying already. So that might get a little bit awkward when you're talking to your mother-in-law sitting next to you. But no matter, you tell it about how much weight you have in the truck already, and then when you're loading up at the home improvement store or something like that, the truck will tell you if you're overloaded or exactly how much weight you might be carrying, which is really cool. As part of this package, also you're getting a special taillight. The taillight is going to have these 4 red lights. So it basically works kind of like a battery indicator on your phone. So if you have one light on the back taillight, that means that about 25% of your payload is being used up, 2 lights 50%, and of course 75% approximately, and then 100% 4 lights. If you're overloaded, so for example, you're carrying too much rock for your landscaping project or something, then the top light will start flashing to let you know that you're being overloaded, which is of course a safety concern for, going down the highway or anywhere, because it all kind of works together, right? You don't want to overload, because if your rear end squatting too much, then the front axle gets unloaded. You may lose a little bit of steering pressure. So all those things have to work together, of course, for safety. You can turn that feature off if you don't want to see your rear lights flashing and let other people know exactly what you're doing. You can kind of turn that feature off, but you can also monitor it on your phone with your Ford Pass app, which is pretty cool, I think, because I love technology. You can actually monitor your payload and also your hitch weight, and I'll get to this in a second, using your phone. So you can actually kind of tell, are you within the safety range of your payload? Are you being overloaded, etc.? So all of that, so you're getting hardware and software. It is not an over-the-air update. So you can't, like I said, upgrade your current truck that some of us own to have this feature. You would have to actually buy a new truck and check that option box and actually get the onboard scale and the smart hitch. What is the smart hitch? Well, it works in a very similar way. First of all, of course, there's a camera system that helps you hook up the trailer. And then once you're starting to actually put the trailer weight, the tongue weight, onto your hitch, of course, your truck begins to squat. Same way, there's an indicator on your center screen or on your app that you're monitoring, or on your taillights, that tells you exactly how much weight you're putting on with the trailer. And of course, that's very important because, safety, so you don't get trailer sway, etc. It will also coach you, depending on the conventional trailer or gooseneck or fifth wheel trailer that you're trying to hook up. Yes, the F-150 is still rated for a gooseneck or a fifth wheel trailer as well. It will coach you, how much percentage of your trailer weight you need to put on the hitch. It's usually between 10 and 15% for a conventional trailer. It can also coach you and kind of make suggestions about using a weight distribution hitch, which I think is a really cool thing because a lot of manufacturers now require or recommend a weight distribution hitch above certain weights. And this truck will actually help you figure that out, which is really, really cool. But it will not do magic. It will not tell you exactly how much your trailer weighs. You have to know it yourself. So ideally, if you want to be precise, you do have to take your trailer to maybe a truck stop to weigh it. And then you can be really, really precise because you can enter that weight into the system, tell the truck exactly how much your trailer weighs. And of course, the truck will then tell you how much tongue weight you're putting on. So you know exactly how the weight is distributed, which I love, of course. So it's not a perfect system. I wish they would have been using, maybe individual weight scale cells on all four corners that tell you kind of more precisely what your truck is actually doing. But of course, they want to keep the cost down, etc. And I think this technology is actually trickling down, maybe even from the Ford Raptor, because Ford Raptor has height sensors on all four corners, in fact, for the next generation truck. So maybe Ford is using some of the same technology, and I have to check with them still about this, to actually trickle down the Ford Raptor technology down into the F-150. The onboard scales and smart hitch feature will be available starting on the XL, which is a great news. So a work truck can have this feature. This package for the onboard scales and smart hitch is going to cost $650. That's for the hardware and all the software to make it work. But you do have to, on the XL, you have to equip it with the 101A package, which is a little bit more premium equipment on that work truck. I actually have that package on my truck, and I love that. I love the way that works. It does cost a little bit more, but you're getting wireless CarPlay. You get a more premium climate control system, and now you can get this onboard scale system as well, which is really cool. So that's those features. Now, the third thing I mentioned is the continuously controlled dampers. This feature is also available on some other premium pickup trucks in the segment, like the GM trucks. They have their own solution for that. But now the F-150 will have a very similar solution. Basically, it's a shock absorber, which can be continuously kind of adjusted for stiffness. Can be a little bit softer, a little bit stiffer, depending on the condition or the drive modes that you're in. Ford says you can also kind of set up that suspension, the new optional suspension system. When you go into tow mode, it knows to kind of provide you a slightly more controlled ride by stiffening up the shocks a little bit, so there is not as much maybe sway or bouncing up and down, which is a really cool feature. Continuously controlled dampers are going to be available from a Lariat trim level, so it's a premium feature, and the trim levels above it, so like the King Range, the Platinum, and the Limited trucks. Of course, you see the Limited truck right here in this footage, and it's going to cost $695 for this feature. So all good stuff, and obviously you can combine, if you're buying a Lariat truck, you can combine the continuously controlled dampers with the smart hitch and the onboard scale feature. So if you want to have it all, you can. If you have a work truck, I think the hitch and the smart hitch and the onboard scale is an option for you. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Is this just a gimmick, or do you think it might be useful? Of course, from my standpoint here, maybe it's not the perfect solution because you still need to add information into the system. Obviously, it cannot do magic. So maybe it's not the end-all solution, but at $650, I think it's relatively affordable that many people who are doing recreational work with their trucks, or maybe even real commercial work, can find it useful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as soon as we can get this truck this summer with these features, you can be sure we're going to test it thoroughly on the scales, towing and hauling, and also driving on different terrain. Thank you as always.